Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Timeless Movie Podcast, episode number 3. My name is Victor Vasquez. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode where we're just going to be covering the movie In the Heights. I know I'm a little bit late to the party as of the date that I'm recording it. This is July 13th. It probably came out about a month ago already. But just wanted to at least cover my thoughts about the movie, kind of give you what I thought about it, and really just kind of give you a feel for if I enjoyed it or not, and if it is a timeless movie. Just a little preface about why I ended up going to watch this movie. I ended up taking my girlfriend to iPic Theaters in LA, and I always enjoyed going to iPic Theater. Love the way that they can just have those nice luxurious seats. You have, these ninjas that work there that provide you with all this food and menus and stuff, and they're so quiet, they sneak up on you like crazy. So we got a chance to watch that film there. It was a little birthday surprise for my girlfriend, so it was fun. It was a lot of fun going back to that iPic Theater one. Typically I tend to stay at the AMC theaters, but this time wanted to do something different. Just jumping right in, wanted to go into the first segment of just giving my general thoughts about the movie that we watched, which was In the Heights. Starting it right off, I am not a fan of musicals. Nothing against them. It's just not my type of movie. I really wouldn't want to go see those types of movies in theaters. But again, like I mentioned, it was something special that I wanted to take my girlfriend for her birthday. So we ended up going to watch it with a few friends over that weekend. And wow, was I really blown away, and I was wrong about the movie. I mean, me going in, I was not going to really, getting excited about watching it. But really, the story overall is really enjoyable. The singing and dancing in the middle of the conversations that they would have, between the characters, it did take me a while to get used to. But by the middle of the film, I was all in. It was just really good to kind of see, how the story would really flow, and that's how I always kind of try to stay away from a lot of the musicals. Again, sometimes the music and the dancing, midway to like having a conversation between two people or the entire block joining in on a specific dance kind of takes me away from the experience of watching a film. Again, just because I'm just so used to watching different types of movies like Inception or going back to Jurassic Park, where you just have a consistent, dialogue, conversation with the different characters, and you see them kind of, their story arcs grow. But here is, obviously just sing and dance a few specific times. There obviously was moments of dialogue where they weren't singing and dancing that, they got very emotional. But again, it was just a really enjoyable, nice story that flowed really well. Just to kind of break it down a little bit more, don't want to spoil it too much just in case anybody hasn't seen the movie. So again, spoiler alert for any minor spoilers that I might mention about the film. Again, I won't go into too much detail if you haven't seen it, but I mean, considering the date that it is today of July 13th, I'm hoping that at least most of you guys that are listening have seen it. But the story revolves around a few characters. The main protagonist is a young man by the name of Usnavi, Dominican Republic descent. He lives in Washington Heights, which is in New York. He is an actual bodega owner in New York, in this little Washington Heights city. As the bodega owner, Usnavi ends up encountering himself in various situations with people that live in the neighborhood. Some of them are friends, some of them are family. And really what you're trying to see from his point of view is you're trying to see him navigate his life towards a specific dream. What that dream is to continue the legacy of his father. His father ended up running a shop that went out of business in the Dominican Republic. He actually tries to save up all of his money in order to try to actually get back to the Dominican Republic and buy up his dad's place of the bodega as well. And just again, try to continue the legacy that his father left behind. This is really where I feel like we get the theme of the specific film, which is chasing your dreams. But I also feel like it's another caveat to that. It's also the danger of chasing your dreams. Too many times people tend to dream big and plow through life until they get to that end goal without realizing that some of the best moments occur before you actually get to that dream. And that's exactly what happens to Usnavi throughout the movie. In his heart, he feels like he is making the right decision of moving to the Dominican Republic. Since he claims that at the young age, I think he mentioned in the film that he was 8 or 9 when he had to leave the Dominican Republic. But before he left, he said that those times were the best times of his life. As you go through the film and you watch it all the way to the end, you realize that, he only spent a few years there, and he spent more time in Washington Heights than he did in the Dominican Republic. and he's made countless memories with different people. Whether it was working with his cousin Sonny, another funny character that came out in the film, talking with his friend Benny, or trying to woo Vanessa, the woman that has been wanting to be with him, or with her, really, for a while. Instead, he feels like his dream, the Dominican Republic, and it's not in Washington Heights, so he's willing to drop everything just to achieve that goal. As the film goes on, you'll see that Usnavi is, leaving behind and then deciding whether he really wanted that original dream all along. Overall, the movie was a great experience, though. I don't think there was ever a part where I got tired of the music or I zoned out, which is great. I really thought I was going to do that before I started watching the movie. I was like, okay, how long is it really going to take for me to, just start actually getting into this movie? Am I even going to enjoy it at all? But yeah, I was very surprised, just getting to that first song and dance. I was into the story already, going through different types of areas, and not only just focusing on Usnavi, but focusing on the characters around him as well. So great job by the filmmakers to be able to make this story around this specific city of Washington Heights very enjoyable as well. I also thought that the cast around Usnavi did really well. There were so many great personalities. It made the movie shine a lot because, again, although Usnavi was the main protagonist of this film, it was really his friends and his family around him that just made the Washington Heights city just have even more character. You just see all these different types of characters that come out, and it's just really fun to watch. Another aspect of the movie I enjoyed was the sense of community in Washington Heights. You could feel that everyone was family, even if they weren't related. I think the music and the dancing sections of the film attributed to this, as most of the time, it wouldn't just be the main cast that would dance, but again, like I mentioned earlier, it would be the entire block. The block of Washington Heights would be a part of the entire dance or the singing as well, which also made it very cool in this aspect as well. So overall, again, if you are interested in watching it, and I hope, again, I didn't spoil it for you, but it really just kind of goes through the story of Usnavi and how he's trying to chase down his dreams. But you also see characters around Usnavi trying to chase their dream as well, and seeing the consequences of what happens with that as well. In the specific film, I like to also point out who my favorite actor or actress's performance was, anything that I may have liked. And for In the Heights, I really enjoyed Nina Rosario, who was actually played by actress Leslie Grace. In the film, Nina was someone that chased her dreams of making it to college and succeeded by being able to go to Stanford. Going to Stanford, if nobody's aware, is basically on the West Coast. So she moved from Washington Heights all the way to the West Coast on California to chase her dreams. However, after her first year, she realizes that she isn't as supported as she was in Washington Heights. So she starts debating, whether she wants to go back to school at all. Nina has various scenes where you see her struggling with the pressure of not only being the first person in her family to go to college, but also trying to be the first successful person to make it out of Washington Heights. Seeing Nina feel the pressure in various scenes and having to deal with her father about what her future holds was super intense. But actor Leslie Grace put on a great performance. You believed every specific line that she spoke in the specific film. Whenever she had a tough conversation with her father about school, or even having, to see those faces of the community who consider her so successful, you could see it on her face that, the pressure was really on her. Obviously, this might be a little biased. I mean, I was, in my family, I was the first person that actually did go to college and graduate. So, maybe I kind of could relate with that. Obviously didn't feel the pressure that much. Again, I literally went to community college and then transferred over to a state college. But still, though, there's some at least kind of connection, which probably makes me feel, why I connected so much with Nina's character of how, she, not only do you go to college to obviously make your dreams come true, but you're also having to see your parents kind of enjoy those moments as well. Because it's really, not only is graduating from a 4-year university or college important for you for your career, but it's also important for your parents because they're finally seeing something come of a son or daughter that they've raised for so many years. Overall, Nina did such a great job in the film, so congrats to Leslie Grace. I really enjoyed her performance in this specific film, In the Heights. All right, next I want to talk about my favorite scene or moment of the film. My favorite scene was actually when the city of Washington Heights found out that someone pulled the winning lotto number and could win $96,000. So in this part, The entire block finds out that, hey, somebody had pulled the winning lotto number. And what made this scene even cooler is that, they ended up having a blackout, which is basically, everybody shutting down, too much heat. Nobody could really work. So everybody decides, you know what? Let's all just go to the pool and hang out on this summer day. And that's, then that's where we get the musical part of it. They set up a nice routine where most of the main cast sing and dance on what they would do when they won those $96,000. I enjoyed the beginning part of it because some of it was a little bit of the rap and lyrics that they try to pull off. And it included references of like Obi-Wan Kenobi and different stuff like that. So I really got into it because I do enjoy hip hop and rap music. So when I started hearing that some of the main cast characters start rapping and actually pull off some really good bars, I had to point that detail out. Again, don't want to go into too much detail, but it all ends in a community pool where everyone is enjoying the summer, dreaming about what they would do with the winning lotto ticket. Going back to the theme that I mentioned earlier on, chasing your dreams. What would you do if you had this much money? What's the first thing you would buy? What specific places would you travel? All that kind of stuff. All right, now we get to a very important question, was what my thoughts were on the music or sound of the film. Obviously, a musical, In the Heights. All it deals with is really the music that is being played. And I can happily say that the music for this film was great. There was a nice mix of slow and upbeat tempos. Personally, I prefer a lot of the songs that were upbeat, but again, that's just my preference. I still enjoyed most of the other specific types of music from different Latin cultures as well. You can hear merengue, you can hear cumbia, you can hear other styles that went really well with the film. Behind this project of In the Heights was Lin-Manuel Miranda, who just set up a sound that is very nice. And the man is just a genius. He even made an appearance in the film as well. Again, I think that the sense of what he tried to accomplish in this film was to really highlight and put a spotlight on the specific music that you would hear in a community like Washington Heights. And so I think he nailed it perfectly. Again, I go back to what I mentioned before. I'm not really into musicals, but this one was a great experience to hear and watch as well. All right, now I come to would I recommend this film for you guys? Would I, tell you guys, hey, check it out. Why not? Go into the theaters or find a way to stream it on demand or something like that to rent it. And to this question, I would say, yeah, I definitely recommend this film for you guys to go watch it. I'm probably going to sound like I'm repeating this a lot, but I'm not into musicals, and yet I enjoyed the film. I felt like the story flowed very well, and there was really no slow parts to me. It keeps you engaged while you're watching it. And again, if you do like singing and dancing intertwined with the story, then this movie is probably going to even meet or exceed your expectations as well. Because it was a blast for me, so I think it would be a blast for you if you are into those types of movies here. All right, now the final question, the toughest question, and I put myself on the hot seat. Is this movie timeless? Just to reiterate what I mean by that for any new folks coming in and listening to this podcast, what I mean by the word timeless is this a movie that you yourself can sit down on the couch at your house and really, would you put it on TV? Would you sit down and say, you know what I feel like watching? In the Heights today. Or if it's on TV, would you try to make some time to watch the film? I'm even adding if there was a Blu-ray or DVD of this, would that be a movie that you would buy yourself to have in your collection? Obviously, now with streaming services and all that stuff, it makes it a lot harder to actually own Blu-rays and DVDs. Doesn't make it harder; it just makes it a little bit of a pointless to actually buy a DVD if you can just stream it. But neither here nor there. Again, is this movie timeless? Can you watch it multiple different times and still enjoy it just as you did the first time? Up to this point, I have said nothing but good things about this movie, but I don't think the movie's timeless. This was a very tough decision because like I mentioned, I like the film overall. I love the music, the story made a lot of sense to me. Again, maybe it's my bias of why I enjoyed it. Again, it deals with a lot of the Latin culture, and again, I am Latino, so maybe there's a bias there, an unconscious bias. But I don't think that I would have had the motivation to find this movie and watch it all over again if I had to. Don't get me wrong. If my girlfriend was already watching it and she, had it on TV and there was nothing else to watch and she, asked, I wouldn't say no. I'd probably watch it. But it's I would rather watch something new or another timeless movie in my collection rather than watching the same songs or the dance over again. Now, again, that probably is hypocritical or contradictory to what my timeless movies would be, because you can always point out, like, for example, my timeless movie for me is like The Dark Knight. You could always say, well, you're seeing the same action scenes over and over again. But, to me personally, I enjoy watching those action scenes. I enjoy watching the interrogation scene between the Joker and Batman. And so to me, that I can watch that over and over again and never get tired of it. For me, I wouldn't really want to watch these songs and dance again. And also, maybe to point out, there wasn't really one song that really, put me, into a position where I'm like, I really need to hear that song again, because it blew me away. There wasn't ever that moment. But I'm sure if somebody, some of you guys were to watch it, I'm pretty sure you'd find some type of moment in that as well. Now, I do always throw a caveat for this question, and I always say, you never know how things can change. Sometimes you think going in like, hey, this movie was timeless, and then 1 year down the road or 5 years down the road, you come to find out that you haven't even seen that movie ever again. You never want to rewatch it, and your opinions can change. So that's why I always try to let you guys know that although now I'm saying that this movie is not timeless for me, in my opinion, that could definitely change. Again, if I ever see it again, if I start to enjoy the music a lot more, I could definitely flip my decision. But for the moment, this movie is not timeless for me. But what do you guys think about In the Heights? Is this a timeless movie for you? Is this a movie that you can instantly rewatch over and over again, or even go to the theaters again and watch it? Let me know down in the comments below, guys. I would love to hear your opinions. Again, give me your thoughts on what your favorite part of the movie was. Was there a song that you really enjoyed, if you are into musicals? And, give me some other specific movies, that it compares to. Is it better than any other specific musical that you've already liked in the past? Again, just want to hear your thoughts, guys, and interact with you as well. All right, everybody. That is it for episode 3, covering In the Heights. My name is Victor Vasquez. This has been the Timeless Movie Podcast, and I will catch you for episode 4 for the next movie that we try to consider as timeless. Thanks, everybody.